In the next few videos, we're going to begin a walkthrough for the software interface. This will be particularly helpful if you're catching up on the new features we've just introduced, or if you're just starting out with us. If you haven't already, make sure you check out our first video on setup and calibration. I will be using our simulator for these videos, so some movements may not look as smooth as they do on a machine where I can rotate an actual part. The home screen is called Measurement Planes. On this screen, you'll see correction locations and amounts for dual plane and single plane based on some inputs that tell the software where you'll be correcting in relation to the sensors. You can exclusively use this page to balance any part, since it shows the location and amounts, and you still have the options for tooling comp and key comp if they're needed. The other pages in the software allow you to manipulate scenarios to make calculations easier, but this page is balancing in its basic form. If you are balancing crankshafts, this is also where you will find the bob weight calculator. On most of the screens, the settings page is accessible through the gears in the lower right hand corner. Here you will find the calibration information as well as setting up your angle finder and different display options for measurement units and screens. If you click the About button, you can also access a PDF with the software manual. The next page is the left-right corrections page, where you have a more thorough explanation of how to achieve balance for two-plane parts. The settings next to each dial allow you to decide if you are drilling or adding heavy metal, and you can even tell the system if you need to shift the correction to avoid existing drilled holes or empty space on the part. The drill setup pop-up lets you select and adjust your drill size, available depth, and even whether or not you want to compensate for the drill tip. Moving on, we have the static correction page, which is used to balance single plane parts with only one available plane for correction. This page is used for vertical balancing machines, or sometimes for narrow parts that are held on a shaft horizontally but only have one correction plane, like impellers. The same correction adjustments are available as you have on the left-right corrections page. Moving to the right, we have the Counterweight Turning page. This page is specifically for turning down a counterweight on a crankshaft using a lathe, sometimes called no-hole correction. It allows you to map the counterweight by setting the zone, number of datum points for the height variance as you work around the counterweight, and manipulating the final cut radius so you can determine the amount to cut off while still keeping the weight on the counterweight. The history page lets you analyze the readings you've taken so you can check for consistency, and this is also where you will set up and print out your reports. The final page is the signal page, which used to be called dev bits. This is the diagnostic page for the sensors, so that you can verify that you are getting signal from the sensors, as well as making sure you aren't getting too much or too little signal at a given speed. The next video in this series will go in depth on the measurement plane screen to show you the full layout.